Good morning, everyone. For today's morning broadcast, I'd like to tell you a story about compassion and kindness. A long time ago, there was a small village, and in that village, there was a young man whose mind was full of negative thoughts about his parents. He thinks his parents are bossy and controlling, and he was always arguing with his parents. Yet, he was afraid of confronting his parents. The negative thoughts rolled around his mind like pebbles in a bowl, until he didn't know how to react to them. One day, he couldn't take it anymore, so he turned to the wisest man in the village. "My mind is full of anger and fear. What should I do?" asked the young man. The wise man answered, "The first step is to be aware of the state of your mind. Then you can overcome your anger, your fear, and all your negative emotions. Try this simple technique. Go to a mountain and collect 20 small pebbles. Take them all home and then spread them out on a table in front of you. Then go get a black bowl and a white bowl. And then you start paying attention to your mind. When you have a positive thought, put a pebble in the white bowl. When you have a negative thought, put a pebble in the black bowl. Practice this for 1 week and then come back and tell me the results." The young man thanked the wise man, and then he went home and collected 20 small pebbles on the way. Once he was home, he laid out a black bowl and a white bowl in front of him. And then he starts to pay attention to his mind. As soon as he started paying attention to his mind, he remembered that his last argument with his parents and started fuming to himself that they were altogether too bossy for him. As a result, he felt very angry with his parents, but also he was frightened of facing his parents. Then he realized that he was holding negative thoughts towards his parents, so he put 1 pebble in the black bowl. He tries to sit still, but his mind was still irritated, and he still feels very angry. So he puts another pebble in the black bowl. Soon, he feels the strong need to confront his parents and tell them that they could not control him. But that's another negative thought towards his parents, so the young man once again put another pebble in the black bowl. Half an hour passed, and by the end of it, the young man found all 20 pebbles in the black bowl. This made him even angrier, but there were no more pebbles for him to put in the black bowl. He stormed off and went to bed with his mind still full of anger and fear. On the next day, he remembered that the wise man told him to try using this technique for a whole week, so again, he tried. His negative thoughts were still too strong for him to control, so he said to himself, "Maybe I should leave home, then all my parents will realize how useful I am." There goes another pebble in the black bowl. But then the young man thinks to himself, "No, I can't leave home. My parents are too old and they could not look after themselves." Finally, he has a kind thought towards his parents. So he went ahead and put a pebble in the white bowl for the first time. But then he thinks to himself again, "But it's too difficult for me to live with my parents. They always try to control me." This is yet another negative thought, so he puts a pebble in the black bowl. "But when I was small, I was naughty, and yet my parents still looked after me and loved me." That's another positive thought. A pebble goes into the white bowl. "I am going to express my gratitude to my parents and try to be patient with them." That's 2 kind thoughts, and the young man put 2 pebbles in the white bowl. Very quickly, half an hour passed. This time at least, there were some pebbles in the white bowl. The young man felt a sense of relief. A few days passed, and the exercise, was very helpful for the young man. Not only was the young man paying attention to his mind, he was also discovering a spirit of generosity within his heart. His conversations with his parents were becoming gentler. When he woke up on the seventh day, he went eagerly to his bowls and pebbles. His first thought was a joyful one. Thanks to my parents that I exist. How grateful I am to be in such good health. So good to have a roof over my head and delicious food prepared by my mother on my plate. More and more pebbles went into the white bowl. Thought after thought were steeped in the positive emotions of humility, generosity, acceptance, and love. Pebble after pebble after pebble dropped into the white bowl. Very quickly, the black bowl was empty and the white bowl was full. On the next day, the young man went back to the wise man to thank him. And then the wise man said to him, "It is not the world that is the problem. It is our negative response to the world. So the way to be happy is to allow compassion to emerge in our hearts. Once compassion has arisen, we need to take care of it and maintain it. Then we must work hard to make sure that our compassion flourish and grow larger and larger, so that every hour of the day, every day of the week, every week of the month, and every month of the year is full of compassion, and there is no room whatsoever for jealousy, anger, greed, or fear." The exercise of putting pebbles in the black and white bowls taught the young man to start paying close attention to his mind. We often think that we are not kind enough to each other, or sometimes we get angry too easily. But once we start paying close attention to our minds and look for signs of kindness and compassion, we can start to notice how kind we've always been. So, for today's broadcast, I have only one question. Have you had any kind thoughts or compassionate thoughts this morning? Please share with your classmates and your class teacher. Thank you.